Hi friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and this time I'm gonna be reacting to the most brutal rivalry, I hope I'm saying it right, in F1 history, so it probably will be interesting. So yeah, let's just go.
From Michael Massey giving the championship away to Max Verstappen in the final race, to the relentless rivalry turned sour between Max and Lewis. Find out what led Verstappen to dethrone Mercedes' dominance in one of the most neck-and-neck F1 seasons of the last decade. This is the story of the 2021 Formula 1 season. We didn't see it then, but a cutthroat, violent rivalry was being woven. A story that had been writing itself from the moment Max Verstappen burst onto the scene with Toro Rosso in 2015. The youngest ever man to debut on the F1 grid had shown even more frequent glimpses of his brilliance, hurtling towards an inevitable collision course with the legendary Lewis Hamilton. The Brit, a towering figure in the sport, had stood as a giant over 12 and a half years older than Verstappen. He held all the major achievement records in Formula 1, most poles, most wins, and a share in most titles alongside the legendary Michael Schumacher.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen had long been hailed as the potential challenger to Lewis Hamilton's era of dominance, yet he'd never quite possessed the tools needed for the task, despite combining his remarkable speed with improved consistency in recent years. His highest championship finish prior to 2021 had been third. With few changes to the cars from Mercedes' complete domination in 2020, it seemed like even matching that achievement might prove difficult. However, the pre-season testing sessions provided an unexpected twist. Red Bull had evidently made significant progress, while Mercedes, by their lofty standards, appeared to be struggling. In 2021, Red Bull had now delivered a title-challenging car. Now, Max was a potential usurper. The prodigy turned challenger. The stage was set for a thrilling spectacle that commenced without delay. The opening act unfolded in Bahrain, where Verstappen and Hamilton occupied the front row and embarked on a race-long battle of wits and strategy. It culminated in controversy as the Dutchman managed to overtake the Mercedes, albeit off the track and through an illegal maneuver. Verstappen was forced to give back the position, unable to capitalize on his car's advantage. Round 1 went to Hamilton. The drama continued with wheel-to-wheel clashes in Imola, Portugal and Spain. The reoccurring theme saw Verstappen as the aggressor, initially seizing the lead in each of these encounters. However, he would only clinch victory in the first of these races, settling for second place behind Hamilton in the other two. Barcelona in particular witnessed Hamilton absolutely dominate his Dutch pursuer on the way to a commanding victory. It would be in France, however, that Max would step on the gas pedal and take the championship by the throat, winning in extremely decisive fashion at Paul Ricard after executing a late overtake on Hamilton.
Yes, they have! Max Verstappen goes past Lewis Hamilton!
It suggested that he was now the favourite for the title, after having won 4 out of the 5 races following since Lewis's win in Barcelona. The points tally now stood: Hamilton's 150 to Verstappen's 182. But the next round would throw a twist in the tale. It was here, on the hallowed grounds of Silverstone, that the rivalry truly caught fire. Lewis Hamilton would start the sprint.
It feels like something dramatic will happen. Like, it's kind of building up. Maybe a fight?
Race from pole, but would end up being unable to keep it by the end, with Max Verstappen's Red Bull flying past him with incredible precision to win the race. In the main race, it would be the home hero giving chase. Verstappen retained his lead, closely shadowed by Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. An exhilarating battle ensued between Verstappen and Hamilton on the opening lap. Many times this season had Lewis taken avoiding action with Max's aggression. This time, Lewis refused to back down, and as the two took a fast right into Copse, Max went flying into the barriers with a force of 51 Gs. The world stood.
Oh, I guess this is the one where Max got really bad hit.
Still for a few moments. The incident triggered a red flag, pausing the race to repair the tyre barrier. At the restart, Leclerc, who had sneaked into P1 after the collision, managed to maintain his lead, as Hamilton incurred a 10-second time penalty for his role in the collision. As the laps unfolded, Hamilton, realizing that he could make up big points on Verstappen, truly put his foot down. It was hammer time. His pursuit culminated in a strategic maneuver to overtake Valtteri Bottas, obviously following team orders.
We invert the cars into turn 15 this lap.
With a dozen laps remaining, Hamilton's focus locked onto the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Despite Leclerc's steadfast defense, Hamilton's determination and favorable tyre conditions allowed him to make the crucial move on lap 50. The British driver seized victory, albeit amidst a cloud of controversy, and secured a cherished home win. The drama, though, persisted beyond the checkered flag, as Max Verstappen criticised Hamilton's exuberant post-race celebrations whilst he was hospitalised, calling them disrespectful and unsportsmanlike.
What do you mean with disrespectful when one guy is in the hospital and the other one is waving the flag around like nothing has happened while you push the guy into the wall?
And at this...
But like, it's the race. It's gonna happen. I know it's bad that you crashed, Max, but like, world doesn't need to stop because you're in hospital. It's bad, it's sad, I know, I get it. Yeah.
Point, I had many questions in my mind. Why did Lewis attempt that? Could Max have left more room? Why haven't you subscribed yet? Truly perplexing.
I guess I subscribed you, so yeah.
From that pivotal moment onward, the complexion of the championship battle underwent a seismic shift. Lewis Hamilton managed to secure a much-needed 25-point swing in his favour in the standings. In the following round at Hungary, Valtteri Bottas decided he would take the whole grid bowling, and the resulting pile-up ended up causing heavy damage to Max Verstappen's floor, all while Lewis raced into the lead. And yet, during the red flag, Max's engineers were somehow able to unbelievably salvage the floor, allowing Max to take part in the race.
With duct tape. And Gorilla Glue. I'm just kidding, I don't know.
Albeit with severely compromised performance. A blunder from Lewis meant he was the only driver on the grid following the formation lap, while everyone else pitted for slick tyres. The resulting pit lane chaos sent Ocon into the lead and on his way to his first race victory, while Lewis and Max would only be able to secure P2 and P9. Next came Spa. This track was hit by relentless rain on race day, and it's not like the qualifying day had been any better, just ask Lando, leading to a red-flagged Belgian Grand Prix after just 2 laps behind the safety car, with Nikita Mazepin setting the fastest lap of the race at one point. With no competitive racing, qualifying results determine the outcome. Verstappen, starting from pole, claimed half points with 12.5. While Hamilton's third place finish earned him 7.5 points. This cut Hamilton's championship lead to a slim 3 points. In the Netherlands though, the Dutch turned up to party, and Max delivered the beat to their dance, dominating all corners on his way to an almost terrifying victory. He was untouchable. In front of the Orange Army, the Dutch Lion had roared into life. Their next clash would be at Monza, with Max being unable to make ground on Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren in front once the rain commenced, while Hamilton found himself way down the order. As fate would have it, a sluggish pit stop for Verstappen later in the race set them on a collision course at the first chicane on lap 26. These two had tangled with each other all season, and the horrifying Silverstone crash was still very much in the fresh minds of the audience, the teams, and more importantly, the drivers.
Just already stop about this because we had so many questions about this.
As the two went into the
Hey! FIA? Where were you here like now? Like in the last video, the FIA give Max the community service for language, specifically F word. So in this situation, it was nothing. So he could talk like that. Huh? Interesting. So it's just like now. I guess this was like bit back.
first chicane, their refusal to back down would result in something truly horrifying.
Into the first chicane once again. It's wheel to wheel. Hamilton and Verstappen, and this time Verstappen and Hamilton have crashed.
Max is on Hamilton's head. Kinda.
Both title contenders were out. Both title contenders felt the other was to blame, with Lewis even questioning why Max didn't check on him after the crash. Hamilton finally clinched an opportunistic...
It's shitty! Like, almost Max's tire was on Hamilton, so yeah. Oof. tough situation.
100th Grand Prix victory at the Russian Grand Prix in late September after Lando Norris took his car for a boat ride when in the lead, regaining the championship lead. While Verstappen put on a spectacular drive that secured second place despite starting from the back of the grid due to an engine penalty. In Turkey, Hamilton got a new engine, incurring a 10th place grid penalty. Despite a valiant recovery effort, he could only manage 5th place, with Verstappen putting on an incredible drive, but eventually being denied the win by one of Valtteri Bottas' best drives of the season. Just when it appeared that Mercedes might be mounting a comeback, Verstappen countered with consecutive victories in the United States and Mexico. His win in Mexico was imperious, and it seemed to set him on an obvious path to the title. The points tally now said Hamilton 293.5 to Verstappen's 312.5. Verstappen's prospects
All the time, like, at the end they are so close.
seemed to solidify when Hamilton's car failed a routine post-session test, resulting in his relegation to the back of the grid for the sprint race on Saturday. However, the disqualification ignited a fire within Hamilton. Despite the very obvious setback of being P20, Lewis weaved through the field during the 24-lap sprint, making up 15 places in what was by far the best drive of the season.
This isn't that one.
His laser focus meant that not only he was making moves at an incredible pace, his decision-making that day was on a level that even the most seasoned Hamilton fans hadn't seen in a while. Lewis's day was further brightened when Valtteri outjumped Max Verstappen to take victory in the sprint, yet again minimizing the points Max would have taken. And for those of you that know, you know every single point mattered as these two went into the final round of the season. His performance in the sprint was majestic, but it was on Sunday that Hamilton truly dazzled. Lewis was absolutely flying after having been demoted yet again to P10. By the 5th lap, he had carved his path from 10th to 4th, aided by a strategic assist from Bottas. His pursuit of the Red Bulls was relentless.
His teammate was Bottas? Yeah? I don't remember in which team Bottas were.
Lewis would eventually go on to win the race, with Max following up in P2. The champion was fighting back for his title. Prodigious challenger knew the game was well and truly on now. Hamilton sustained his momentum with a commanding triumph in Qatar, bringing the championship battle to the penultimate round in Saudi Arabia. A win there would allow him to level the points with Verstappen, and unbelievably, that's precisely what unfolded. However, the manner in which they arrived at this juncture bordered on the surreal. In a riveting two-way battle for supremacy, Verstappen twice skipped turn 2 while attempting to defend his position. Twice he was instructed to cede the position back to Hamilton.
So let's give the position back to Hamilton.
Eventually, Hamilton emerged victorious, albeit after yet another contentious collision.
Like, I want to know what's the least that Max could get to cut off, like, the roads and angles and yeah. Like, what did he expect? Like, no one wouldn't see it? Huh?
Collision. A moment of confusion unfolded on lap 37 as Verstappen chose to let Hamilton pass on the pit straight, a place he could easily get Hamilton back. Hamilton, recognizing that, also slowed down behind the Dutchman, but not fast enough.
Both are giving it absolutely everything. I get the feeling it's going to happen again.
Oh, they've touched and they've collided! Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. How much damage on Hamilton's Mercedes? What has happened there?
The two title contenders had once again.
I'm usually thinking like, what's the least damage that they could still drive? Like, I don't understand this. Like, like for front, it didn't look that bad, but you need to fix it to continue to drive, or it's okay to still drive without fixing it. Or everything just needs to be perfect. I understand that everything that it's on your car, it's for speed, and if it's brake, and if it did brake, so it's not that great for speed and the winds and stuff. But still, I think it's better that you could still drive, not just last place, down. or what? I hope that you did understand what I'm trying to say.
Again collided. Neither trusted the other, and neither was willing to give an inch to the other. It was hard racing. It was brutal racing. The stewards later pinned the blame on Verstappen. I'll let you debate that in the comments. These two were now heading in
It's kind of shady, you know.
to the twilight of the season, and yet they were still very much setting the world alight. Despite every up, every down in the season, Lewis and Max stood atop the summit, staring each other down on level ground. 369.5 points each. These two had given it their all. Bahrain, Imola, Paul Ricard, Silverstone, Monza, Jeddah. Their hatred was very real. Both of them had nearly killed the other. They knew they were pushing each other to the limit, almost to their most primal, feral racing instincts. And now, these two racing titans would take each other on as equals for the last round of the season. As the sun dipped below the horizon in Abu Dhabi, the stage was set for a Formula One finale unlike any other. Verstappen, poised on pole position, wanted to finally cement his position at the top of the food chain, while Hamilton, starting P2, was determined to put this upstart challenger in his place and finally become the most decorated Formula One champion of all time. The world held its breath as the lights went out.
It's lights out, away we go.
But Verstappen's lead faltered on the first corner, giving Hamilton an early advantage. The race's narrative took a riveting twist, as Verstappen executed a daring move that pushed Hamilton wide, yet the latter managed to rejoin the track in the lead, albeit after using a part of the track not sanctioned by the rules. Astonishingly, the stewards chose not to penalise Hamilton. However, amidst the controversy,
Huh? How? What? Wait? What? What happened?
an interesting chess move of sorts unfolded as Verstappen ventured into the pits. A strategic gamble to challenge Hamilton for the championship. With each lap, Verstappen meticulously closed the gap, inching closer to Hamilton's commanding lead, which now exceeded 20 seconds. Yet as the laps rolled on, Hamilton's dominance seemed unconquerable. Verstappen's hopes faded away. At this point, we all believed the race was over. Many believed that even though Max had tried his hardest, there was just no way he could catch up to the Mercedes. But for the 2021 season to deliver such a straightforward finale after the story it had given us, it was unthinkable. But what happened next was unimaginable. In the final stretch, when Hamilton's 8th world title seemed imminent, fate intervened. Nicholas Latifi's crash triggered a safety car, granting Max an unexpected lifeline. With renewed hope, Verstappen hurried into the pit lane for fresh tyres, setting the stage for the most dramatic finale in F1 history. Hamilton had stayed out on old tyres, something that would be key later in the race. Max and Red Bull had taken a gamble. The team trusted the driver to deliver, and the driver trusted the team's strategy. The safety car scenario posed a conundrum. Should the lapped cars pass the safety car, giving Verstappen a clear path to Hamilton, or maintain their positions, potentially quashing Verstappen's comeback chances? Amidst a clash of team principals, Christian Horner and Toto Wolff, Massey made a pivotal choice. The lapped cars were allowed to overtake, but only the lapped cars between Verstappen and Lewis, setting up a dramatic restart that would either confirm Hamilton's triumph or usher in a sensational upset. Toto Wolff knew what this meant for Lewis. As the safety car relinquished control, Verstappen, all of his hard work over the season flashing before his eyes, pounced on the moment as time stood still, making an audacious move on the inside of turn 5. In a remarkable twist of fate, he had recaptured the lead. Against all hope, against the run of play, Max Verstappen forced his way past the shell-shocked world champion. It was jubilation for Red Bull. It was absolute denial for Mercedes. Verstappen fended off Hamilton's attempts to reclaim his throne. He had not come this far to give up now. As the checkered flag fell and the night sky was dotted with fireworks, Max Verstappen crossed the line. World champion for the very first time. The Dutchman had done it, against all odds, against the most incredible of rivals. He had achieved what many had failed to do. The finale had, of course, been extremely controversial, with many contentious opinions being thrust into the spotlight in the aftermath of the race, which I'm sure I'll hear your opinions in the comments. In the end though, there was one thing that everyone had agreed on. Both drivers had deserved this 2021 title.
Yeah.
The whole season had been full of hard, frantic racing. You couldn't help but get caught up in its energy. There's just something about how riveting the greatest spectacles in Formula 1 can be. And luckily for you, I'm launching a new channel dedicated to creating short 5 to 6 minute recaps of both legendary and current Formula 1 races. Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on the first video. Should be...
So yeah. I'm kind of interested why Mercedes didn't send Lewis to change his tires and to continue drive with the old ones. If it's better to be with new, you know, that's kind of interesting. I think they effed up. You know? This was really interesting. And I'm just thinking, like, when Max, like, when they hit each other, like, the last hit, that Hamilton was really close to Max's car. You know, I think I never have seen someone so close. Like at the start, you know, I understand there isn't a lot of places and space and everyone just wants to be the first and just whoosh away. But at that point, they were just two. It's weird. That was very weird situation. I don't know. But yeah, this was very, very interesting. At least now I know the accident, the crashes that before someone just told me. I didn't know before. So yeah, I hope that you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please consider to leave a like and subscribe, and if you have other suggestions, please leave them in my Discord server, and yeah, take care, bye!